That was a wonderful presentation and left us all with a lot of thoughts that we can look at. Just for the benefit of the audience, the Government of India has divided logistics into 12 verticals. There is something called the Logistic Sector Skill Council. You could Google it and have a look at it. There's something called the Logistic Sector Skill Council, made under the Ministry of Skill Development at the central level. And they have divided the entire logistic industry in India under 12 verticals. If you go to a country like the UK, they've divided it into 26 verticals. A country like the US divides it into 21 or 22 verticals. So each country decides for itself how they want to divide it. So India has presently divided it into 12 verticals, and the idea is that to get in a lot of semblance in all this madness is that we call logistics, and people can understand. The hope is that in a few years' time, I will not say I'm a logistician, I will say I'm an EXIM logistician. Somebody else will say I'm a rail logistician, I'm a road logistician. So that is the idea, so that there is more understanding of the subject, and made it very simple. We also, as Darshan sir said, we have a lot of students over here. So I would like to request each of you to Google something called the Trade Facilitation Agreement. This is an agreement which was proposed by the World Trade Organization. It has become mandatory world over in the year 2019. And it is implemented by the World Customs Organization. But why am I asking you to read it? Because it is one of the best written policy documents ever. If you can just read through it like you are reading a novel, and you will be able to understand how governments think and what logistics can do in improving the businesses and the trade across barriers, across borders and across barriers. So I'd request each of you to at least have a glance at the Trade Facilitation Agreement. With this, I'd like to open it up for questions. Please feel free to ask a question, identify yourself, and let us know to whom your question is addressed. So I was told that I must take out time for a Q&A, so please feel free. And always remember, when you're in a seminar like this, you don't need to feel shy or afraid that your question is going to be stupid or simple or anything. All of us are at the same level. So don't think that people sitting on your right or on your left are more intelligent than you. So just feel free to ask a question. Are there any questions? There are no questions. I'm really surprised at this. Yeah? Somebody?
Hello. My question is to Dr. Darshan, sir. Basically, when we talk about...
Could you identify yourself?
Yes, myself, Professor Mihir Patel from Ganpat University, from Merchant Navy Department. We are with the students of Marine Engineering. And sir, my question is about the AI. Basically, when we talk about the AI, we are moving ahead with the AI, but can we have to look backward also that AI may give any disadvantage in the future also? So we have any other portion is to be there for AI? Only we get any advantage only, or we have any disadvantage about AI also?
See, if you have any coin, there are two sides. Okay, so AI has a many positive things, but AI has a negative things also. If single person, if I want to complete one task, might be I required a 10 of a team. But similar kind of a things, if a machine done, it might be required only one person. So AI is a nothing else, but it is a collection of a data, put it into the specific software, and with the help of an algorithm, you will get whatever the output. That output is defined by you, which kind of parameters you want to set. So AI will simplify your routine work. It will reduce your time. Also, it will reduce the cost also. But we are in India, we have a population of 135 crores. So we have to think about how much automation is required. Also, we need to understand, we are thinking that this is outdated. Within the 5 months, 6 months, we feel that iPhone 12, now it is outdated, iPhone 13 that come. Okay, so every time we'll spend a 1 lakh rupee. You have to question to yourself. So, how you can upgrade your existing things which is in your pocket, which is in your office, which is in your organization, how can you revamp, how can you upgrade the same and get the maximum output out of that? That is a right now requirement of us.
So, sir, right now in this port industry, AI is applicable in which segment? Means any system is to be there right now for port management or port industry that AI work right now?
There are all the industry is using artificial intelligence in one or another way. So it is not AI is not a one kind of a program that is developed by themselves in-house. So whatever output they require, they want to minimize their risk, minimize their cost and minimize the time. They are putting some kind of SOPs in place and define, instead of a manpower, it can be done by the machine through the systems, through computer. So work ultimately get it done simplified manner.
Yeah, anybody else, please? There is no question? No questions on your career, no questions on the future, nothing, because that is what Sonali told me, that there are a lot of students over here and they would be very keen on knowing something about what they should be doing in the future. You've got a great panel. All the three of us, actually all the four of us, including me, are teachers, so you could ask any question, you know. There's somebody over there.
Good morning, panel. Good afternoon, panel. Sorry. Sir, we are students from Gujarat Maritime University. Basically, most of us are pursuing our masters in maritime law. So, just a question, like, with such large horizon which we are expecting in the coming years in the maritime sector, what are the career prospects like for us, like what we can expect as a law professional to join the maritime sector and the new opportunities that we can explore? If you can guide us on that, sir.
See, I think the best way to answer your question is that if I were you, right, what would I have done? Since you have already opted the course, right, so your interest is there, my passion is already there. The passion on shipping, sea, and all kind related ecosystem. So your from your campus, you know, there has to be some industry interface. You know, that is essential because that will give you a cue of what is the outer world beyond your classroom. That's one. Second is based on the interface, I think you need to again introspect within you, like what is the passion within law, because logistics itself is so wide, like the spectrum is so wide. So would you like to be on exim, within exim, where, like on custom clearance or freight forwarding, or where, you know, you would need to come to the nitty gritty to that particular bolt and nuts, you know, of your career point, and then take a conscious initiative of getting into the ecosystem, getting in the industry that is around. Or probably LinkedIn is a very powerful platform. I'm always bullish about it. So you should use it. You should follow people who are into that trade. Probably look into, make your connections, make probably strength to strength. You make your own network, and your network in today's time is your net worth. Mind you, the way you move, the way you connect yourself, it's connected, not only vehicles, not only assets, you yourself need to be connected with the ecosystem. So I think this, will help you to build strength to strength, and then from where you start as a trainee. Don't abhor that word trainee after an MBA. Please don't take it on ego, because in this industry ego doesn't take you long. Okay, I'll be very blunt that way. So I think you need to be a very open mind that I'm a trainee and I need to start from scratch and learn every aspect of it, and then probably you will understand the nuances of the industry, and that will help you to take your larger moves in the career. Thank you.
If I can add, your question was as a student of maritime law. Let us understand what does India do as far as international business is concerned. As far as international business is concerned, India does approximately 52,000 consignments every day. Okay, so that's about 30,000 outbound consignments and around 22,000 inbound consignments. All of this moves by land, air and water. So you have the land stations, you have the air stations and you have the sea stations. So you also have something which is the land side and the ocean side or the air side. More, and each of them has multiple players working over there, right? So you can have very large number of different agencies working on the same transaction at the same time. You have to also recognize that there is always going to be a percentage of every transaction which is going to get into trouble. There might be mistakes, there might be deliberate misbehaviors. So with the increase in international business, and India wants to become a superpower or an economic superpower, the journey for India to become an economic superpower is that India will have to only grow their international business 200%. So from whatever we are doing just now, 52,000, we'll have to do at least 150,000 on a daily basis. So that gives you great opportunities as a lawyer to advise people on compliances, to help people solve their problems, as well as to undertake arbitration and litigation. Arbitration remains the preferred mode in this segment. Not that it is still as effective as it should be, but it remains a very effective tool to for dispute resolution. So that is what you can do. Because you all are students of maritime law. If there are any other questions on your future careers, I will be very happy to answer them. Because you all are the future. Rajesh sir, I'll come to you. Because we are very bullish about each of you. We are looking forward that each of you join this industry, because a great future generation will do wonders for this segment. So if there are no student questions, or you want to still make up your mind, we can go to Rajesh sir on this side. He wants to say something. Mike, please.
Namaste, Samir bhai. I know you caught me walking in, so I said before I allow you to walk out, let me share a few moments. There is a question and certainly a few words of statement also. But primarily I would like to say I was very happy having put the time out today here to hear some of the stalwarts of the present and the future shipping and logistics industry, especially because some of the speakers have put it so succinctly, so well, that even I am at present at this stage a little loss of words, how to describe it. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, to Saket and to all those who have put in the effort to speak here. I am quite sure that the way forward is not as clear even after a whole day of deliberation. So I would request, and I would repeat the question to Mr. Ajay Saraswat, because he expresses so well. That part which before lunch you postponed and said I will look at it, I would like you to give a clear picture of what you see forward and how you put the could be, would be, maybe into the right place. I'm a little bit worried about it. As I said, I've been hearing really good speakers. The first one I was very much impressed with was the Minister of Shipping in 1974, late Pranab Mukherjee. And today, it's your day, Mr. Saraswat. So let's hear you.
See, I normally reflect my own self, See, I personally see nobody has a ready-made solution. I know it's very difficult to address a ready-made kind of a answer to this question. But yes, I can share you my experiences and which has actually given managers, super managers to the industry, whom I have recruited from the campus. And how this has happened, probably that can give you some insight, One is that, the rule, that's how we have learned, there is no easy way to learn things in this industry because nobody makes you learn, very honestly. If you ask anybody, though, they will not delegate, now there is a difference. I'm talking about our times, New recruits were, for 1 year they were just everywhere knowing nothing what to do and where to do because there was nothing called as induction. Nothing called hand-holding kind or a grooming kind or a parenting kind. ये सब industry में था ही नहीं. The moment anybody sees a new recruit, he sees it as a threat. अरे ये आ गया मेरी कुर्सी लेने. That's a typical mindset. Typical. So the first thing is that how do I hound him so that he lives on his own? The first thing that will happen. Somehow if the guy has some tenacity within, then probably he may have, with all criticisms and all kind of bullyingness that has happened through, he has thrived. Then, or if he's a smart enough, he will try to get into his own linkages, kahan ke ho, that UP bhaiya ho, ya Haryanvi ho, ya Rajasthan ke, that bonding and all kind of things happen in this industry. Very much it happens, But things are changing, there the entry barrier was there, and as I said in the morning, that when you don't have any option, this was the last option. All dropouts had no option other than to get into transport industry. So that's the most easiest thing that you can do and learn. But if you, my only humble request to one and all is that these were, there was a time where the industry was governed or driven by this, but the generation which is now, at least the middle management whom we have recruited, like I said, I recruited from UPES Institute there in Dehradun, from my campus, and that person has groomed as one of the most senior manager. He's driving a company in electric vehicles, and I feel so proud of it. That there is one gentleman who is that, and there are others, the list is endless. But the idea is that you need to actually do hand-holding, and we seniors, the middle and above kind, it is our responsibility to give these youngsters an opportunity, to nurture them, to delegate them, to make them learn, to make them understand. We had a hard way, but don't make their life hard way, that's what I personally feel, you should delegate, you should make them learn, groom them, they have enough of energy, they have enough of ideas. It's only that they require a platform, someone to actually come and appreciate, and let them be experimental. You may fall 10 times, but then probably there is some reason why they are following. We need to get into that nitty-gritty. So I think this is how, if everyone does the role, that, because it cannot be by your single effort. But all of us in the industry, for example, like the best system, everybody is speaking in all seminars, driver shortage, driver shortage, driver shortage, driver shortage. I asked them, what did you do for the drivers? What did you do? You tell me one thing except complaining. But yes, in my company, yes, I have done it. Today my drivers, I don't say drivers, I say pilots. Today my drivers are earning 50,000 rupees minimum salary, minimum. Because I have slashed their norms of fixed salary and bhatta. Why? A person who is away from his family, who is moving 10,000 kilometers of my vehicle, who is giving me a better turnaround, and I want the express highway, no toll, nothing. But the guy who is actually driving, you don't want to do anything for that. See the contradiction. So we have slashed the entire thing. No salary, kuch nahi. Per kilometer le lo bhai, jitna bhaga utna kamao. And there are drivers, believe me, they are earning more than 50,000 rupees. And today those drivers only, they come and tell me, sir, driver, गाड़ी बढ़ा रहे हो क्या? किसी के पास मत जाना, मेरे पास में driver है. Chacha, mama, bhatija, everybody. I say no dearth of drivers. People look at me, but then that's a reality. You say unemployment? Where is the unemployment? Today I have a vacancy of 10 people. I am waiting for, I don't have the right talent. I want right kind of people. I can hire, I can still train you. But I cannot imbibe attitude in you. I always tell my HR, please hire attitude. Don't go by MBA, MBA, okay, I like it, I love it, all respect, everything. But I want the right attitude because this industry needs attitude. So I think the status quo needs to be changed, questioned. Come where you just destroy all the shackles, try to bring in new norms, bring into systems, process, give the young an opportunity, be there like a custodian. How do we leave our child when he learns walking? We have the trust and faith that, and you have and the respondent also knows that there's somebody there to back me up. If that trust building can happen between mentor and mentees, between boss and employees, I think wonders can happen. We are there as CEOs in global companies and we can't run our own logistics company. We cannot change and show the world that we can be a 5 trillion economy. Come on, we can and we will. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ajay ji. I just want to add one thing for all of you. We must recognize that the entire society rests on logistics. That there is no two questions about it. But we are an industry which has been very much underrated, very misunderstood, and very much unrecognized. Now what is happening when I see Ganpat or BK or Adani or GMU and lot of other people, what are all of you going to do? You all are going to come out as organized logisticians, whichever segment of logistics you may get into. You're going to come out as organized logisticians, and when you guys come out as organized logisticians, all the problems that Ajay sir spoke about are done away with. You come in with a certain amount of respect. You come in with a certain amount of knowledge. You come in with a certain amount of understanding of the subject in which you are going to speak. And that is why I told you all in the beginning that we are very bullish on all of you. Okay, why do we take out our time? Because we don't want you to undergo the same journeys that we underwent. Right? We underwent a journey where we learnt by trial and error. We underwent a journey where we made mistakes, we lost our jobs, we made companies lose a lot of money. We did a lot of things over the years. Okay? We don't want those mistakes to get repeated, and that is why all this is getting structured. And unless we work collectively and you guys carry the burden away from us, India is never going to become an economic superpower, because you may do manufacturing, you may do whatever, unless we are there, the goods are not going to reach. So we are very important, and I'm sure with time we will get a lot of respect. We are even otherwise getting a lot of respect already. It's hard for you all to imagine what type of respect we had in the early 80s or maybe the late 70s when Rajesh sir started. I started in 1981, maybe Ajay bhai started somewhere in the late 80s. At that time it was a very different industry. It was a very different way of working, a very different way of looking at the whole thing. And I'm also very happy and proud to see so many ladies over here, because I believe very strongly that logistics is a profession for ladies. And why do I say that? Because I told you that it's very easy, but it's not simple. But girls have an inherent quality to be able to multitask and to be able to do a lot of things together. If you travel to the Far East, okay, you go to Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Vietnam, anywhere, 80% of the staff in the logistic companies are girls. The same thing happens in Europe. not so much in America or Canada or the UK, but in Europe and in the Far East it happens. Middle East, of course, girls are only now coming out and working. India is seeing a great influx of girls in the offices because logistics has only two things. One is either you sit on the computer and work or you are on the field. There's nothing in the middle, and you are much better poised to sit behind a computer and work. And I think you all have decided on great careers, Do we have any other questions? Or can I close the session? No other questions? Okay, please join me in giving my speakers a big round of applause. And thank you to all of you. And from all of us, thank you to the audience. You've been wonderful and attentive, barring a few phone calls. I didn't find anybody going to sleep, which was a good thing. Thank you so much.